Two children vanished, sparking relentless searches and lingering questions. A case to unravel by a stepdad that keeps changing his story and a mom that has disappeared. Is this a case of duper's delight or a concerned parent?
Tell me you don't do math without telling me you don't do math. And I'm watching the body language of this guy, and it's like every time he's very sus, and he knows it. All right. Well, okay, it's time to break down and get some reading glasses, because when I looked, I thought from George Foreman is Ireland. Get those glasses from Scotland. So funny.
Everyone deployed in that first
Scotland,
initial search.
Ireland,
that was a lot. That was an 8-kilometer radius outwards.
Right?
And it's just...
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm wondering. Most as on ordinary days when the kids get up and self-parent while they're in the bedroom with their substances. Shake my head. Right? Why not tell us what your ordinary day is or was?
The amount of money and people's time.
Thank you, Barbie G.
Sustained during that.
Thank you.
It's just, people should have just opened their eyes to see that we need to look elsewhere. I pointed many fingers, and I think that's where the people should look.
And many times suspects do that. They put themselves into a situation so they can learn from law enforcement. Like he said, he talked to law enforcement 3 times a week. All right. They insert themselves so they can find out what happened, and then they point their fingers away. Not here.
Not here. Not in the woods. If fingers have been pointed, let's start taking a look. It's just heartbreaking to know that 5 months have passed, and
now 6, guys. 6 months yesterday.
Like, this should be a chance for kids to be interacting and doing kid things, enjoying their lives as kids. You know, like, right? It's not just...
What's up, Nikki?
All the kids that miss them from school and community, and, you know, at this point, the whole country.
Now he knows everybody's watching him at this point. He said it earlier. People watching his hand movements, his eye rolls, whatever he does, body language. Everybody's looking. He knows
that, you know they're missing. It's just like I have kids too that know that they're missing too, and like
you have kids
that's heartbreaking
that know they're
for them.
Missing.
Like Meadow doesn't understand, but one day she will.
Thank you, Cheryl.
And she knows that Dad spoke up for Jack and Lily.
When Daniel went on that tangent about kids going back to school, I thought he would.
Did they arrest Cheryl McDonald? Did they arrest Ashley Buzzard? Did they hold her, or did they just get a search warrant to search the house? And then let me know. I'll check after this, but I'm curious because I've been following that case. I've done probably 4 or 5 episodes. That and the Mimi case. Jacqueline, my goodness. Rosie says, choo, choo. And thank you, Barbie G. All right, let's keep going. They escorted her out of the house and they're searching. Yes, I wish they would find something to hold her.
Was talking about Lily and Jack, but no, his sympathy was for the other students in their class who would feel sad that they were missing. And that's not the only time he put others over his own children in this clip. And by the way, I hope you noticed that he didn't refer to his other biological daughters as his other daughters. He just called them his daughters. So what does he consider Lily? Anyway, when he was talking about the search, he was lamenting all the money and man hours being wasted and all the injuries the searchers were getting. Actual parents of missing children couldn't care less about the people searching for their kids as long as they're doing it.
Right? They don't say things like, remember Jen Soto was saying, oh, I wanted to get the news station involved. So, you know, because missing kids, to call for missing kids. No, it wasn't. There were no missing kids. It was Madeline Soto, your only daughter that's missing. Tamra, member for 14 months. Welcome and thank you. Thank you for supporting the channel for that long.
Bankrupt the entire police department if it meant getting their kids back. I explained why Daniel talks this way in my video He's Afraid, which I'll link on the end card. If you want more like this, let me know by liking, commenting, and sharing. Until next time, stay true.
All right, that's what he has. And then we're going to do this. I'm trying to make sure I can get everything today. I like this some new information that you probably haven't seen. I don't think you guys have been watching like everyday streams on this. I haven't either. I find the things when they happen, and then I go, once in a while we'll catch something like somebody going on to a show and then we look at it, but nothing's really been happening in this case except for the vigil that called for more attention and more help for the children. yesterday, right? And I think a lot of people would lose their shit if their children were gone now 6 months, and the mom leaves the day they disappear. So I do think something transpired there with them too as parents and these children. And then Malaya took off.
Evidence connected to Lilly or Jack. Now, one final effort is being called a last-ditch search before winter.
You also don't not name your children and just talk about cadaver dogs and these efforts without having any kind of compassion for it or saying their names. I mean, there's a lot missing, and we know that. I think that's why we talk about Daniel not telling the truth, because he only tells us the things that he thinks that we want to hear. I believe he's not telling us the whole picture. All right. What's up, Nana Rocks? Good to see you, my friend. I will be begging on the TV to help find my babies. Right. Exactly.
A volunteer group called Please Bring Me Home is planning a large-scale operation on November 15th, focusing on nearby waterways under what they call the misadventure theory, a theory that the children may have wandered off and become lost.
Now, has anyone else heard about this? I hadn't, so that's why I brought it up. This streamed hours ago, and I was like, okay, they're doing more efforts at least. What's up, Eileen? Good to see you. Nikki. No emotion. Daniel Martell, in my opinion, likes to go on the news and be Mr. Good Guy. I'm a good stepfather. I'm a good guy. He tries to, get his hair cut and dress real nice. And you could tell he likes that attention from people in general. And then I'm sure the ladies, right? I saw some rumors about a possible girlfriend, new girlfriend, or ex-girlfriend. I don't pay attention to all those things unless they're intertwined in the case. But he's trying to be a ladies' man.
Nick Oldreive is the executive director of Please Bring Me Home. He says his team was contacted by the children's paternal grandmother, Belinda Gray, but also by quote-unquote associates.
Well, I would assume Malaya's still on the reservation living her best life without the children, but I don't know exactly where she is. All right. Yeah, exactly. I'd be in a mental institution and my children were missing for 6 months and she wasn't even at their vigil. That's the oddest thing. It was Jack's birthday yesterday and they did the vigil. She wasn't there. When she passed a note, is that what they said?
Of their mother, Malaya Brooks Murray. Mr. Oldreive told reporters, quote, "This is likely the last chance before snowfall hits." Belinda Gray, the paternal grandmother, also spoke with reporters. She said, "The waiting has become unbearable." She remembers the winding drive to Lansdowne Station and the first time she saw where her grandchildren had been living.
And this is wild because when I listened to this, now the grandmother looks way different, by the way. When we first saw her, she got her hair all done. Looks like she's lost some weight. Good for her. But this is wild that she says this about the location where the children live. That was one of the first things that I said. It's like, hey, that's not a safe place for those children to be playing outside. And I think that's why Malaya's like, oh, they don't ever just go play outside. We keep them in. And people were like, oh, that's messed up. That's how they live there, etc. But yeah, did they get abducted by aliens or what? The baby isn't the baby she took. Yeah, it was her and Daniel's baby. And he doesn't mention that. He doesn't mention her either. I shouldn't even say that.
She said, quote, "When I saw it for myself, I thought, how could the kids live here?" She says her relationship with their mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, had grown distant after Malaya moved to this area, Pictou County, where cell service was spotty. But she says just weeks before Lilly and Jack disappeared, Malaya called her, cheerful and apologetic,
yes,
saying that she'd bring the kids for a visit. But that visit never happened.
Yeah, definitely reminds us. I think everybody's called Gen 2.0 that doesn't show up for their children now, right? And we see it over and over. So we're not dumb about what's going on. We get the idea of what's happening with these moms when they don't want to talk and they don't go to searches or vigils or anything. They're not trying to help.
Lily is 6 years old. Jack is, he's going to be 5 years old this month.
Right.
Belinda Gray can barely speak through the tears, describing the children she hasn't seen in years.
The last time they were here, they were still basically babies. Lily was 4. She was such a carbon copy of me. She copied everything I did. And Jack was more sober. He was just crawling around the floor, learning to walk.
It's been 2 years since Gray last.
Well, listen how the grandma talks about them, and you hear the parents talk about them, and they've got whatever, right? They've got autism and different things that aren't the best, putting them in the best of light. So I really do wonder what they feel about the children, if they're overwhelming them. Was Malaya overwhelmed? Is that why she just took off and left everything?
Held Jack and Lily Sullivan, and months since anyone has seen them at all.
Your grandchildren are what you leave this world. They're a part of you.
When Lily and Jack went missing, Gray says she joined the search herself.
Now we're looking at the Jack and Lily case today, Nina, because yesterday was Jack's. It would have been his 5th birthday. I don't know if they're still alive or what. In my opinion, they're no longer with us after 6 months. I feel like to hide 2 children, especially ones that the parents profess have issues with, comprehension and just the way they describe them, I just can't imagine. Yes, I hope that we find Melody Buzzard, and somebody in chat a little bit ago just came in and said they're searching Ashley Buzzard's house right now. So I do wonder.
We started working our way up through the woods along a brook, and then we crossed over the brook and we started coming back down through the woods.
For Gray, hope quickly turned to suspicion, especially after their mother left the area.
When I found out Malaya left, I knew there was no sense searching anymore. It started making me think, I don't think these babies wandered off.
She hopes police can.
Isn't that crazy? Is she blaming Malaya for this?
Bring her closer to the truth.
I hold them all accountable. I don't know how 2 kids can go missing.
RCMP say they combed through every possible lead, but Gray feels police could have acted faster.
I don't care what the criteria is for an Amber Alert. When you have vulnerable children missing, it should be an automatic alert.